Just talk about the tea. It is definitely coffee flavored tea, and it tastes like coffee flavored tea. And I don't know that it's really that good. Like, when I drink tea, it's because I want tea. When I drink coffee, it's because I want coffee. And I don't often want coffee. It took me a long time to be able to tolerate the taste of coffee. I was not an early, younger adapter of coffee flavor drinks, but I do drink coffee now on rare occasion. I think that honestly, this would be really good for the times that I do want coffee flavored drinks, because then I could just drink this. Without the like effects that coffee has on me. Coffee makes my stomach very unhappy, whereas tea does not do that. And so I just think that this would be good for those instances where if I want coffee, I could have a coffee flavored tea. But I don't know. It's also kind of like a weak coffee flavor. Like, it's not a really strong coffee flavor. So I think that if I mixed it and tried to, like, although it's called winter espresso, I think if I tried to use it as an espresso, I would need to make it extremely concentrated in order to get any good flavor in like a latte or any other sort of espresso drink. Anyway, let's go ahead and open up Advent, and then I have to leave because I have to take my son to an appointment, and we cannot be late to that. None of these are day 9 or 9. Where is... Oh my gosh, last one in the bag. Day 9. This bag goes through day 13, and for some reason day 9 was on the bottom. Okay, I have my paper with me today so I could tell you what it is right away, and you don't have to wait for a later clip. Oh, I like this. I'm a greens girl, so of course I would like this. Oh, are we gonna get a good... I guess I don't know how well the camera is picking it up. My monitor always shows things darker. So today's the 9th. This is from New Mexico. This is from Z, the letter Z, Yarns, and it's called Spruce Grove. It is a beautiful variegated color with some like a forest green with like this kind of tealy green leaning a little bit more blue, and then some white with some kind of red-orange speckles. Very, very pretty. This is so extremely variegated though, like with some really dark and really light tones, that I'm not actually sure that this will go very well with the blanket palette. This is one where I feel like I need to actually work it up into a square. So I will crochet a square of this, but more than likely it will just confirm that it is so variegated that it just will look weird in the blanket. So never fear, it can go with the other Advent colors that I'm not putting in the first blanket and will likely make it into the second blanket where anything goes. So I really like this. I wish that there was, like, this is something I would absolutely knit, like, socks out of. I wish there was a little bit more of it. In theory, I could use it for, like, the contrast colors, like heels and toes or cuffs and toes or whatever on a pair of socks. But then I would need to pick, like, a really very neutral, single tone, like, main color in order for these to, like, really shine. Yeah, I wish I had more of this one to do that with. I wonder, I could see if Z Yarns still offers the Spruce Grove colorway. Yeah, okay, anyway. I really like this color. It just won't probably go in the blanket. Another day, another walk to do an errand. I am walking over to my dentist office because I got a text right before lunchtime from the office manager / receptionist saying that we had a copay bill that was due, and we've already used all of our FSA funds for the year. And so she was like, hey, can I charge your FSA card on file? And I said, nope, actually there's no money on it. So I have to go pay it with the debit card because she doesn't have the debit card on file. I live in such a cool place. So, something I haven't mentioned on the vlog before is 3 days a week I come in to my massage therapist's studio and set up for her before her work day. She's open 3 days a week, and it's much easier and very convenient for her and very convenient for me because I don't live that far away, for me to come in, put fresh sheets on the massage table, turn the table warmer on, put hot towels in the towel warmer and turn that on and turn on the hot rocks and everything like that, because like I said, it's super convenient for me, and it means that she can come into work an hour later than she normally would. So she pays me for this, of course, an extremely reasonable rate, and I'm happy to do it because I adore her. Anyway, so she just went out of town for a training conference and texted me that she was very nervous that she had forgot to shut off all of the things, and so she asked me to come in and check on it, and everything was shut off when I got here, but I did decide to do the laundry. This is another thing that I do when I come in the mornings, is I will fold all of the laundry in the dryer, and I will start a load in the washer. I don't normally have to move clothes from the washer to the dryer because she doesn't leave them in, she doesn't let the washer run overnight because we don't want stuff to get musty sitting wet overnight. Anyway, so I came in and I told her that there was nothing on, but the dirty laundry would have to sit dirty for 4 days if I didn't run it. So I said, I'm going to run the load and put those stuff in the washer in the dryer, because she also asked me to do that. And I said, but I'm going to run another load so it doesn't have to sit dirty for 4 days. But don't worry, I will come back in the evening to switch them again. So here I am back, all of that preamble. I was here earlier. Here I am back to change everything from the washer to the dryer, but I have to take the stuff out of the dryer, and I could just not fold it, but why would I do that? That's absurd. So I'm going to fold and switch, and then I'm gonna go. But this is just a little taste of kind of what I do in the mornings 3 days a week before I go to my regular job. I'm actually only here about 20 to 30 minutes each day that I'm here. So yeah, it's not something super notable, which is why I never noted it before. but this is my second job. You can look up a tutorial, because I'm not going to make one right now because I don't have a tripod. But fitted sheet folding. Okay, so here's a very bad angle for a tutorial. Ready? So you have your fitted sheet. You find the corners of the short end. Ready? Okay. You see that? Corners of the short end, right? All right. And then you find the other corners of the other short end. So, corners of the other short end. And you have them inside out like this. And then you match them up like this. Okay. You kind of need to shake it a little bit. Smooth everything out. Okay, see, like that. And then you fold up and you fold down. Oh, doing this one-handed is not as neat, right? Okay. And then you fold in. Ooh, hang on. I need both my hands. And you can make the last couple folds slightly different, depending on like the shape you want your finished thing to be. But that is how you fold them. And then I stack them up here. Yay. One-handed stacking is never a great thing, but it doesn't have to be perfect. She doesn't care if it's perfect. And I don't care if it's perfect, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Ta-da! All done. Now I just have to move that stuff into there and then turn it on, and then I can go. Everything's in there. Normal. 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 Yep, okay. And that's all I have to do. I do this, well, I don't put stuff in the dryer normally for her because she doesn't leave wet stuff overnight. That is what's making the loud sound, the like white noise. The server room for the whole building is in this, in her unit. So, dark. The only thing that does not go on that shelf of the linens is the little pillowcases. The little pillowcases just go in there. That's it. Yeah. So I love her studio space, and I'm grateful that she offered me a little extra cash to come and set up for her in the mornings. It literally just adds like 25 to 35 minutes to my morning routine, and it saves her a whole hour of her morning routine. And she pays me pretty fairly for it. And yeah, I'm happy to support her in whatever way, because like I said, I adore her. She is a very wonderful person, and she's been doing my massages for I think 2 years now, basically since we moved here. And so maybe 3? No, it hasn't been that long. Maybe only 2 years. But basically, I didn't have anybody that I was going to before. Did I go a whole year after we moved here without getting massages? I used to get them all the time also when we lived in Houston, because I have mild scoliosis, and yeah, I just need whatever. I'm not going to show you the massage room because it's not set up, and this room deserves to only be seen by anybody else when it's beautiful and set up. And I should have probably recorded a little clip the other day when I was here getting my massage done, but I left my phone in the other room on the coat rack, so I don't bring it in with me when I get a massage. So anyway, yep, now I have to go to Ace Hardware to look for recipe cards because I need some. A random car pulled up as I was talking, so I didn't get to say the rest of what I was going to say. Anyways, they have these now from World's Finest Chocolate with pretzel flavor. I saw them at the checkout, so I got 2. And also, I did end up seeing one of these dressing bottles that's got all the different, like, ratio measurements on the side, so you can make your own dressing. I'm going to try that out. Really like that. But I am at Dollar Tree now because they didn't have the recipe cards, so I'm going to try to at least get some 4x6 index cards, because that's fine if that's all I can get. Okay, when I asked if they had recipe cards at the, okay, did I say anything after I left Dollar Tree? I don't think I did. Dollar Tree did not have them. So I went into the bookstore that is kind of next door. It's in the same shopping center. And the person there that I asked looked at me like I had lost my mind. They were like, yeah, recipe cards? That's not like, no, we don't have those. And I realized it's a very outdated thing. Anyways, they did have this thing called, they did have this like recipe binder book that comes with full-size pages to write your recipes on, and some like plastic sleeves with, I think it says it comes with 20 recipe index cards. So I think I can just convert my whole system, because there is space to put the cards, and then I could also just start writing them on full-size sheets. And then I can get rid of I have like a photo binder, like a photo, it's literally just a photo album that has my recipes in it right now. And also I have a ton of like printed recipes that I've printed from online. So I think that this might be the thing to organize all of my recipes all into one place, because it will not only hold my recipe cards, but it will also hold my, like, I can put my printed stuff in there. So I'm very excited about this, and yeah, I'm gonna go home now. I don't really want to record while I'm driving. So I mean, I am just in a parking lot, but I'm about to be turned out onto the street, so as good a time as any to kind of close out for the day. I did a lot of stuff today. I'm not sure how much of it, like the vlog footage that I did take, that I will have in this video, just because sometimes I just take footage and I get to the editing and I'm like, actually, no, I'm not gonna include that. So, I cast on another Gushy Garter hat by Park Williams, or Park and Knit, out of the Spin Cycle Plump. This one is the colorway Vibe Check, and it is extremely, like, glowy looking on my phone screen when I'm like holding it up. It's wild, but like it's a beautiful kind of like ultraviolet pinks, blues color. It's very pretty, but it's looking glowy on my phone, so I don't know what's up. Anyway, so I did cast this on. I don't know if I'm going to finish it before the plump along ends on the 13th. My goal was to make 4 hats for it because I wanted to, and I had 2 skeins each for each of the first 3 hats, and then there should be enough leftovers from all 3 hats combined to make one that's a little bit more scrappy looking. So I don't know if I will finish even this one before the 13th, but like the idea of doing all 4 of them before the 13th now just seems very unlikely. I know that it's bulky, and I know that it's only like 150 yards worth of knitting, but I don't really knit bulky weight very quickly because the like thicker gauge and bigger needles just tend to be kind of hard on my hands. So we'll see what happens. It's over by the front of the house. I wore the one that I just finished today because I had kind of been leaning towards keeping that one for myself, and then when I was going to go out for a walk, I was thinking, okay, well, it's going to definitely be pretty windy and it keeps getting colder, and I didn't have a hat for myself that I had been wearing, so I just claimed that one for me. And I had kind of been knitting it for me as I went along, but I wasn't fully sure, so that kind of cemented it. This one I think is going to be for one of my friends, and I think that she will like it. I think it kind of suits her personality, so yeah, I should be able to see her at least once before Christmas, so I'm gonna give it to her as a Christmas gift. And yeah, I think that we were gonna have dinner at some point over the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to go ahead and try and get it done in time to give it to her, even if I don't get it done in time for the knit along, the make along. So that's okay. And then the first one that I made out of the Vibe Check colorway, oh, this one's called Valley Girl. I don't know if I said that. The one that I made out of the Vibe Check colorway, this one is getting a pom-pom, and it's being gifted to my youngest as part of her Christmas stuff. She is getting fewer handmade gifts so far. I feel like I also need to make her something else. Middle kiddo is getting at least 2 handmade gifts. Oldest is getting at least 1 handmade gift, and so I don't know. Definitely the youngest gets that one. And then the scrappy hat that I will make out of the leftovers of the 3 like first 3 hats, I think I'm going to give to my friend who is my massage therapist. And I don't know if I recorded a video. I did record a video earlier, but I don't know if I will include it in today's vlog. Like, I just don't know if the video is that good. So, but my massage therapist is a lovely person, and she's one of my friends, and so I think that I have been thinking I want to give her a gift, and she gave me a bunch of yarn the other day. I was in her studio because I did mention this in the clip that I filmed earlier, but just in case I decide not to include it. I do work for her 3 days a week. The days that she is open, if she was finding that she would have to go in about an hour and a half before her first appointment to her studio to like set up the table warmer and the hot stone warmer and the towel warmer and all of that to make sure that everything would be warm in time for her first client. But I live extremely close to where her studio is, and so she had asked me at one point, like, hey, can I pay you to go in and set everything up for me about an hour before my first client so that I don't have to go in as early? And I said, yeah, absolutely. She pays me a really fair wage, and I go in and I set up all that stuff, and sometimes I like put away the clean stuff from the dryer, the towels and sheets, and start like a new load of stuff from the day before, just like little things, studio prep for her. And so she's really sweet, and she gave me a bag of yarn the other day. I walked in for that day's prep work, and there was a big bag of yarn that she's in the middle of moving, and so I think that she was just clearing it out of her craft supplies. She had tried to do like a couple of crochet or knit projects over the summer and just found that maybe she doesn't love it a lot, and so she had a bunch of yarn. So in that was, I think, like 9 skeins of like a bulky weight yarn. So if I don't specifically, I'll have to check to see the yardage. If it's not enough to make like a garment or something, it is acrylic, but like I'm not picky too much. But I think, get to the point, Shelby, I think that I might make a hat out of that as well, and I might gift that to her instead of the scraps one. But I think she would really like the one made out of scraps of all of the different spin cycle yarns, and so I'm really leaning towards that because I think she would really like it. But either way, yeah, giant bag of like, just, it's all acrylic yarn, or like the polyester blanket yarn or whatever. But I can either, whatever I don't put to use, I will donate to the local thrift shop, and they, because it's like nice skeins, they can sell it. I lost my beginning of round marker. Where did it go? Anyways, so whatever I don't use, I will bring to the charity thrift store and donate it. Anyway, all of that is a lot of rambling. I'm sorry if this vlog was super long, but if you did enjoy it, please make sure that you remember to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And I did, oh, before I say goodnight, I did two crochet squares today out of the plain neutral yarn while I was just kind of waiting around for things today. So yeah, I hope you have had a lovely day. Tomorrow is the 10th, which means we're almost a third of the way through the last month of the year, and that's something to think about. I look forward to hanging out with you guys tomorrow. Bye.